Coming up tonight on YCN News, the former Lebanon College site is under consideration for development. The New Hampshire State Council for the Arts is allowing online grant applications. And a fatal fire in Nashua. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, January 20th. I'm Laura James. Welcome to YCN News. President Barack Obama will deliver the annual State of the Union speech tonight, beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The nation's economic recovery is expected to be the address theme. YCN News will bring you tomorrow reaction to the speech from members of the New Hampshire and Vermont congressional delegation. In other money matters, how to pay for Vermont's state budget also is the topic for a formal meeting today in Montpelier. It's known as an emergency board meeting, yet a spokesperson for Governor Peter Shumlin says this is a formal meeting with the House and Senate Money or Finance chairs that happens every year at this time. The state faces about a $100 million budget gap. Also happening under the dome, Vermont House Speaker Shap Smith went on notice asking for the public's help in resolving Vermont's money and development woes. Smith asked all who live or work in Vermont to send him their ideas on how to create jobs and improve the state's economy. Ideas gathered will be considered in this legislative session. On the first day of the session, Smith asked lawmakers to work together to create an atmosphere of opportunity across Vermont. It is in this spirit the legislature is asking for public input on state economic development strategies that, according to Smith, these thoughts and ideas will be shared and reviewed by the State Commerce and Economic Development Committee. There are two ways you can respond. The deadline is February 3rd. Send your idea via email to speaker@leg.state.vt.us or by postal mail to Speaker's Office, 115 State Street, Montpelier, Vermont 05633. In other Vermont state news, the man whose name became synonymous with the Vermont Healthcare Exchange is resigning from that position. Governor Peter Shumlin announced today Mark Larson will leave his job as commissioner of the Vermont Department of Vermont Health Access in March. Shumlin acknowledged Larson's difficult time in office, especially as the state's web access to the healthcare exchange or marketplace did not go smoothly. Vermonters and small business owners who wanted to sign up for health insurance ran into computer glitches. Larson toughed it out, though, and earned Shumlin's admiration. He has worked as hard as anyone on my team over the last 4 years, said Governor Shumlin in a statement today. He led the department through some challenging times, but no one cared more or tried harder to overcome those challenges so Vermonters could access affordable health care than Mark Larson. The proof of that hard work is in the numbers, Larson said today. Under the medical insurance plan, also known as the Federal Affordable Care Act, the state has reduced by half the number of uninsured Vermonters. Larson says he is proud to have been part of this tremendous effort as the department prepares to engage its next phase of work. Larson says it's time for him to move on to new opportunities. Larson will work with Deputy Commissioner Lori Collins to help her transition into a new role as interim commissioner. A search for a permanent replacement is currently underway. Turning to New Hampshire news now, the building that once housed Lebanon College classrooms may be getting a new owner. That according to the Valley News. Now, it's not a done deal yet, but developer Brian Thibault is in talks with Century Bank officials about buying the two former college buildings in downtown Lebanon. One tenant looking into establishing a presence in Lebanon is Claremont-based River Valley Community College. RVCC has a campus in Keene. Classes for the fall semester this year were abruptly canceled when finance problems became too much for the private, nonprofit Lebanon College to bear. The college opened back in 1956. Chairman of the Lebanon College Board of Trustees, Arthur Gardner, said in an article the school wants to pay its financial obligations and have an educational institution in that location. After the break, we'll learn about local athlete Hannah Carney's new World Championship win.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Laura James. A fatal fire yesterday morning in Nashua that also injured one person is the type of accident people age 65 and older are susceptible to. That, according to New Hampshire State Fire Marshal Bill Degnan. 75-year-old William Holland of 19 Waltham Drive died as a result of his injuries. Inhalation of flames and superheated gases led to his death, Degnan said in a prepared statement. State Fire investigators, interviews, and results of an autopsy led officials to believe that Mr. Holland accidentally caught his clothing on fire while trying to light a cigarette on the gas stove in the home. A woman sleeping in a bedroom of the home was rescued and treated for smoke inhalation. It is older adults that suffer twice as many fire deaths as the general population, says Degnan. Knowing the many ways a home fire can start is one way to prevent these fires. Degnan added, cooking is the leading cause of home fires. The Lebanon Police Department is warning residents of a possible scam invoking the name of the Internal Revenue Service. Officers have received calls from residents saying a person identifying themselves as an IRS agent is threatening them while demanding payment for back taxes that are not owed. Police say report the call to law enforcement and do not give out any personal or financial information. On a creative note, leaders with the New Hampshire State Council on the Arts announced that for the first time, applicants to its grant programs may submit their applications through an online grant process. Applying online eliminates the need for applicants to submit multiple copies of their materials, speeding up the application process and reducing the costs associated with color printing, which often accompanies applications from arts organizations and their partners. Online applications are an option for all New Hampshire State Council on the Arts grants in the coming year, but paper applications will still be accepted. Next year, all grant applications will be required to be submitted online. For those unfamiliar with applying for grants online, several customized training materials are available, including video tutorials and written documents for every grant program. State Arts Council Director Gina Lupi says the council is kicking off its 50th anniversary year with an online grant application portal, making applications for funding easier and modern. For more information about the Arts Council grants and to view the online application grant process and training materials, just visit nh.gov/nharts/grants. It's not Olympic year yet. Norwich, Vermont native Hannah Carney continues to win gold medals. This time, Carney won the top medal in dual moguls in a thrilling finals matchup with competitor Canadian Justine Dufour-Lapointe. This marks Carney's 8th career World Championships medal, the most ever for any freestyle skier. After skiing to a silver medal in the single moguls competition, Carney reviewed her performance and set goals for the duels competition. As this picture shows, she met her goal. When YCN News returns, we'll join River Valley Chronicles' Elizabeth Gerazio, who sat down with Father Rene Butler to offer some insight into the work of the missionaries of La Salette in Enfield, New Hampshire.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. We saw some sun, some clouds around the region today. Let's check our middle of the week forecast now with Matt.
Thanks, Laura. Tonight should be clear with a low around 5. Wednesday will be sunny with a high near 25. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy with a low around 13. Thursday will have a 30% chance of snow before 10 a.m. with a high near 28. And Thursday night it should be partly cloudy again with a low around 10. Turning to our YCN community calendar, we have some Friday events. In Hanover, there will be a drop-in technical help from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Howe Library. There will also be 2 community dinners. One will be in Hanover at the Lutheran Church starting at 5, and the other will be in White River Junction at the River Point Plaza at 5 p.m. You can see the full calendar online at ycnnow.com/calendar. Let's take a look at local high school sports. There were 2 Lebanon versus Kingswood games yesterday, both with exciting victories by Lebanon. In the boys' game, Lebanon won by a 68-42 final score. The girls' team won by another large gap of 50-30. Congratulations to Lebanon High School for their hard work.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News returns, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor, who spoke with State Representative Neil Kirk.
The YCN News continues in a moment.